What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Crash Bandicoot yet again. The hype train marches on. I saw Canadian Guy A's video that, at least when I'm recording this, he put it out yesterday. Great video, great detective work, and obviously I'm very much into Prototype, so I like the connection there as well. It would be the greatest world alive if we got Prototype and Crash Bandicoot out of this package, but there's been a couple things I want to really boil down his video. I saw some of the tweets kind of separate before I watched his video. It really boils down to a couple things, right? Iron Galaxy's connection to all of this, and Iron Galaxy should sound familiar. They've been around a long time, and most recently, they've helped with Tony Hawk, and not just helped, they did Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, right? They're connected to Activision. We have that Prototype connection where they're in the credits. I think it's 16 different employees. Now, they employ like 200 plus, right? So they did Tony Hawk. They might be working on, hopefully, crossing my fingers, a Prototype remaster type situation. And then now, all of a sudden, they're kind of connected to this Crash family. Now, that one, like, it makes sense just when you kind of connect those dots. It is not a guarantee of anything, of course, right? But the biggest thing with that has been discovered is, I believe, accounts following each other. I think the official Crash Bandicoot account followed Iron Galaxy, and I think they did it right around that time of the bio change, right? So Crash changed the bio, which is still, I think, such a big hint, and I don't think you do that for nothing. And then also, as it's been pointed out, Iron Galaxy is, I believe, the only studio that actually celebrated that 5-year anniversary of Crash 4. And again, like, it's things that I do think are important. I like conspiracy theories. I like this kind of conspiracy theory for video games, maybe the most of anything. And so, I don't want to just throw it completely away. I don't want it to have to mean everything, but I definitely think there's enough there where it's like, I think what's happening is Iron Galaxy is being kind of flexed a little bit. Activision is saying, hey, well, maybe you've done it a long time. You've done, Activision products. Like, can we kind of use you like in a positive way, I guess, in this case? Can we do it in some different ways you want to help with? Because don't forget, like, Prototype is attached to Activision as well, right? It's all part of that same family. So I think that makes a lot of sense that if we ever were to get Crash back, whether it's a remaster of an old game or a brand new, whatever it ends up being, I do think Iron Galaxy is the one that would do it. We have the 30th anniversary coming up next year, and like, that's kind of massive. Like, I mean, every game, I guess, has anniversaries, and you hope for something for every game, for every anniversary, but 30 years is a really, really big one. I think for the 20th is when they announced the Insane Trilogy, so that doesn't necessarily mean much, just because it's been 10 years. PlayStation had a lot to do with that, Sean Layden at the time, and now we have it completely being controlled by Xbox, so a lot of things, even like politically, corporation-wise, has shifted in those 10 years. It doesn't 20-year anniversary, 30-year anniversary, I guess it technically doesn't have to mean everything, so take that with a grain of salt. But that was, when it boils down to it, that's really Iron Galaxy's connection here, is kind of like mutual following, them celebrating an anniversary when in reality they don't really need to do that, and then Crash, obviously, again, changing the bio and all of this stuff happening around the exact same time, okay? And I guess Iron Galaxy maybe being tied to Prototype, which would help, I think, a Crash situation, because it's them, Activision, using Iron Galaxy on more than just Tony Hawk, I guess, in recent memory, right? It would be kind of expanding it. And I think they were part of, did they put Crash on PC? I think I remember Canadian Guy A saying, so they have maybe even had a little experience with Crash in the past. So you have that, and then you have, as was noted by Canadian Guy A, kind of this, just this media company that lies inside of Activision that's in charge with these, I think, emerging studios, right, that it's called. And, they're in charge of the Tony Hawks. I imagine they would be in charge of, like, a Prototype. And so this is it's just a team within a team and some executives there that make decisions, that's going to dictate the future of some of our most beloved franchises. And they hire, or they've had a guy that's been there a little while, and they recently promoted him to one of the head positions. So he's one of the top of these kind of decision makers of what to do with the franchises underneath them, right? And this individual had previously worked on Crash Team Rumble. Now, I would like to say something that maybe is a little bit more controversial than what any of the other people that have covered this are saying. Like, I want to believe that means something. I think it probably does, right? Because the guy's connected to Crash through that. But I will just throw in the little jab that, like, that is not the Crash game that I would like to be associated with if I'm him, right? I mean, God bless him, and if he brings back Crash, extra God bless him. He'll be blessed, and he's going to heaven. But I would not want to be the one, like, I don't want that to be the thing that I rely on. Do you know what I mean? Even as, like, a commentator about this entire thing, I don't want to rely on a guy who did Team Rumble and now all of a sudden he's got keys to the castle because, I don't know, we've heard conflicting stories. It is almost definitely Activision that really pushed and demanded something like Team Rumble. We know a little bit of history of that Crash Spyro game that was supposed to happen. That sounds like the most magical thing on planet Earth, that was ripped from our cold, dead hands. And maybe, hey, maybe this guy has a little bit of that energy remaining in him, right? If he's a part of Team Rumble, he kind of through that link might have been a part of the Crash Spyro thing, and maybe he still has in his heart of hearts a desire to do something like that. I mean, these are like far-reaching theories. You know, these are not any of this stuff. None of it is guaranteed. But I think you have the seeds all over the place, right? Bio change, accounts following each other, anniversaries being celebrated, Crash blood in the system, you know, in a good way. Sometimes that could be bad. But I think a lot of that stuff does indicate to me, and next year's the 30th anniversary. Like, I want to believe you have to do something. You have to. And I'm not saying you release a game. Factually, I just think they wouldn't be ready. You know, even if everything is turning up Crash, right, is coming up our way, you know, there's no, like, what world do we live in where they've been working on a Crash game for so long that it's ready for next year? I feel like we would have heard about, I mean, we've heard more about this Spyro thing that's still not confirmed, and we're really basing it on Canadian Guy A, and I hope he's right, but that's really what we're basing it off of, and that's if it's true, and that has been a couple years now, but we obviously still haven't seen that. There's no way you're getting, like, a sneak Crash game next year. Unless it's the quickest remaster of all time, which, hey, I'll take, by the way, but unless it's that, it's not going to happen, right? So that's the best case scenario, is a remaster of something. I love Crash Bash. That game, I believe, turns 25 next month, so they're already going to miss that one. That's okay, though, but like, that's the best case for next year, is a quick remaster of a game. Best case scenario is, well, you could get a quick remaster and then also announce, hey, to celebrate the 30th anniversary, we don't have a brand new game, but we're working on a brand new game. That's the hope. That's the dream, right? Is that we get an announcement that they're doing a Crash game for the 30th anniversary, not that we will get it for the 30th anniversary. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.